Okay, so in the last video we talked about loops. We talked about the for loop, we talked about the while loop, we talked about using them with continue, using them with break, using them with else. So now in this video we are going to be moving to Python functions. Why do we need to know functions? Actually, function is used in any programming language for reusability. Instead of you being able to write the code over and over again, once you declare a function, you can call it in anywhere you want to make use of it. So a function is a block of code that will only run when it is being called. If you look at in the beginning of the previous section, I made use of a function where I use my function, my func, and everything. Yeah, this particular part. So this is a function. Now I want to explain what it is. So now let's start. Let me have the comments to divide it. Let me say function. Yeah. So I said a function is a block of code that will only work when it is being called. In this same function, you can pass in data such as parameters and arguments. I'm going to cover that also. So now, how do you create a function? So let me say creating a function. Creating a function. How can you be able to create a function? Now, to create a function, you are going to be using a def keyword. That is a def keyword. Then you have a function name with a bracket. Then you have a colon. Then you write whatever you want to use. So let's approach this. I'm going to be having my def keyword. I'm creating a function. The next thing that should follow should be the function name. So I can say my underscore function. If you want to name a function name, don't use space. Don't use space at all. So if you want to have more than two, don't use space like this. You'll be having an error. So you see it. So you must either use an underscore or something. So you may be given a question and tell you that, okay, debug this code. They may give you a function. They can put hyphen. They can put anything. So you must be conversant with the syntax. So I define the function and let me say that function, what I want that function to do is that if I call the function, it should tell me, it should print out hello, I am a function. Yeah, so it should do this. But now I only created the function, I've not called it. When I refreshed it, you see that when I run the program, you see that nothing is outputting it simply because I've not called it. Now, how do you call a function? To call a function is very simple. All you just need to do is the name of the function and a bracket. So if I want to call the function, I can just have my underscore. That's the name of the function I used. Then a parenthesis. Now, when I run it, I will be having the output. So let me have it now. Shift F10. So you are saying hello, I am a function. Now if I should duplicate it, let's say I want to use hello, I'm a function somewhere. All I need to do is just to call it. So now I duplicated it, it will repeat in such amount of time. Sure you get it. That's why they say it's something it will only run when you call it. Now, what are arguments? Arguments are sets of information that are passed into a function. For example, now let's say that I want to get I want to have a function that defines the name of people in Ultimate Insight Library. So you get. I also have something that will define the name of people in Ultimate Insight Library. So I can just come in now. Let me say def my underscore students. So you get. Then I have a curly bracket. Now in this curly, inside this, no, it's not curly bracket. In this parenthesis, let me have first name. Yeah. This is what they call an argument. It is an argument that will be taking in parameters. Sure you get it. It's going to be an argument that will be taking in parameters. So let me say first name now. Let me say it should print first name plus, no, I want to plus, let me have an empty string plus, let me have another string, let me see, is a student of ultimate insights library. Yeah, so let me put the space in the empty string. Yeah, let's say that I want to have a student, instead of me writing Kolade is a student of ultimate insight library and Kenny is a student of ultimate insight library, one after the other. All I just need to do is that I call the function name and say my underscore students. It must rhyme. So my caps locks are on. So my underscore students. Now the value I'm going to supply inside of this, the place I'm calling the function, is going to be a parameter. So now what is the parameter I want to have? Let me have Kenny. Let me duplicate it. Let me come here. Let me have Bright. Let me come here. Let me have Ayanfe. Let me come here. Let me have Ola. Let me come here. Let me have Soludo. So now if I should run this, now what do you see? You see that it's brought out the names at once. So I don't need to be writing it manually. I just passed in an argument. This f name, whatever you write when you are declaring the function, it is called an argument. But what you are writing when you are calling it is called a parameter. So you write an argument here. This one is going to be made of what you are writing inside of here is called a parameter. So that is how you can make use of arguments and parameter. Now the next thing we want to talk about is the try and except. The try and except. Now there are things we are going to be talking of in this section. Let me comment. Let me say try and except. So I will need to write it out for you people. So let me have a multi-line. Now when you talk about the try block, what do you want to do? It is actually used to test a block of code for errors. You are trying to test, okay, does this thing contain error? Instead of you automatically writing it the way it should be and Python should throw you an error, you can actually test for the error. So let me write the short notes for you. Let me say the try block lets you test a block of codes for errors. So yeah, so that is what the try will do. When I solve an example now, we'll be able to understand. Now the next one is the except. So now this except block, so you get, it will now undo the error for you. It will be able to undo the error. So let me say the except block. Let me say block test and let me say undo the error. Yeah. So now we are still going to be talking about else in this place. So now this else block, in case there is no error, let's say when there is no error in the previous execution of the code, the else will now what? It will now execute the code. Let's say in the except block of code, and after you try it, you now undo the error. If there is no error in the previous one, it will now execute the code. So let me say the else block. Let me say lets you execute the code when there is no error. Yeah. Then the last thing you will now do is the finally key. All these are keywords. The finally keyword. We have try, except, else, and finally. Now this finally, nothing concerns it. Either there's error, there's no error, it will work. It will execute the code you write in the finally section. Either there's error. So let me say the finally block is executed. Let me say regardless of errors or no errors. Yeah. So now let us talk about it one after the other. So now I want to do about the exemption handling. How do you handle the exemption? Now, and I said something like, if let's say for example you made a mistake. Let's say I am making use of a variable I did not declare. I did not define a variable and I'm making use of it. Python will stop and generate the error for you. But if I am trying it, I'm trying to use an exemption. For example now, let me say try, what do I want to try? Let me say try print x. Check it. So instead of me waiting for Python to throw me the error, I can now have an except. So what do I want to use in this except? I can tell you that, okay, print, let me say you should print an error or code. Yeah, let's say you should print an error or code. So now what this thing will do is that if I should run it now, it's brought out an error or code simply because I did not define x. But let's say I don't have this try and except, and I should just come and have print x alone. Python will throw me an error. Do you see it? There's an error. X is not defined. So instead of me writing it and letting Python, if I want to test something, you can actually use the try and except to debug. So if I want to test something, instead of me writing it normally, all I can just do is to use the trial. Sure you get me? I can use the trial. Now you can use trial and else. So let me comment this out. Yes, so that I can use trial and else. So let me say try print hello. So let's say you should try to print hello. Yes. Now, except if something occurs, sure you get. You know that this hello that I use is just a statement. So let me say except. So initially there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong since it is a string of characters. But let's use the try and except. So let me say try print hello, except if there is an error, let me say you should print something is wrong. But what if there is no error? I cannot tell you that you should make use of else. So else, for else, it should print out nothing is wrong. So let me have a string of characters. Let me say nothing is wrong. So this is it here. So I told you that you should print out hello. Try print hello. Okay, in case it did not print out hello, it should tell me something is wrong. But if nothing is wrong, it should tell me nothing is wrong. So when I printed it out, you told me what? It printed out the hello and it told me nothing is wrong. So that is using try and else. So now if you want to use try and finally, either there's something wrong or there's nothing wrong, it will work. That finally will surely come. So for example now, let me say nothing is wrong. Okay, let me comment out this else, and in this part of else, let me have the finally. Let me put it up so that it will be together with the code. So let me have finally. Yeah. So this finally now, it should print out try and except, and let me say the, I'm going to have a single quote, the try except increment is finished. So let me say the operation has finished already. So let me run it when there's nothing wrong. It brought out error, and it still brought out the try and except is finished. Now let's say that it is not hello that is there. It should be that variable x we did not define. If I run it again, it will bring out the try and except is finished, but it's brought out. I'm coming out. Let me see if I did not declare x up. Let's see. Let me run it again. So it brought out the finally. The try is this. Sure you get it. Either there's and initially there is something is wrong. Sure you get it. It brought out something is wrong simply because the variable x is not defined. Sure you get it. And it still brought out that finally again. So irrespective of probably there's error, there's no error, the finally will all come out. So now this is actually the breakdown of the topics that can give you problem in Python. So the last video I'm going to do is when I've secured a past question that will come in handy for you guys. So I'm going to actually do it and I will solve it. I will be displaying it one after the other on my screen. Then I'm going to solve it and I will get it to you people. So thank you very much. I wish you good luck in your Python examination. And I remain Professor Bukolade. This is about 5 students of the Electrical and Electronics Department, aka CODEMaster.